A very, very good morning to each and everyone. So today's objective, we are again back with new video and we're going to discuss the TCS NLTH. What is the orientation that we need to know? What are the things that we need to know? Very, very important things regarding the national level talent hunt exam that is organized every year by this MNC to get the best of the talent from across nation into their company. Now, first thing that comes to the mind of students as soon as they learn about these exams, as soon as they start preparing for these exams like national level talent hunt, or there is TCS NQT or any other company's test that is organized on a pan India basis, what students think that it is going to be a very difficult exam. That is not the case at all. These exams are not very difficult. I'm going to talk about different sections, cutoffs, how to deal with all the exams. That is what we are going to do. Okay, so I'm going to begin with the first thing, that is that is the Wipro NLTH recruitment pattern, what the pattern is. So there are going to be three simple rounds. First round would be an online test, that is, it is going to be a written exam. I'll tell you about the sections also of that paper, followed by a technical interview and a HR interview. Quickly going to the section wise pattern, that is the duration and the sections that are going to come up. So there would be an aptitude test. Aptitude would be logical ability, quants, and a verbal. Overall duration of solving all of these three sections combined is going to be 48 minutes. So overall in these 48 minutes, I'll have to solve three sections of questions. Followed by a written communication test, a very simple essay writing exercise that you have to do. Simply within 20 minutes, write a simple essay. And an online programming test that is consisting of two coding questions, and 60 minutes would be assigned for that. Next, if I talk about the number of questions and the total time duration for each section, this is how the distribution looks like. So, verbal ability, I have 22 questions, need to solve them in 18 minutes. Logical reasoning, 14 questions, 14 minutes. Quantitative aptitude, 16 questions, 16 minutes. Essay writing, one simple essay you have to write. In 20 minutes, you have to complete the task. Followed by a coding, where we have two coding questions, and in 60 minutes, you have to solve these two questions. Okay. Next thing, if I talk about the section wise syllabus, what the syllabus would be. Okay, so quants, there are going to be all the major topics, like there is number system, time and work, time, speed and distance, then permutations, logarithms, percentage, ratio, ages, profit and loss, mixtures, allegations, certs and indices. All the major topics of quants that we can think of, they're going to come out in this particular exam. Next, if we talk about verbal ability, so verbal ability is going to be basically two portions. So there would be a grammatical portion involved and a vocabulary portion. So grammar is topics like error spotting, sentence improvement, sentence completion, active voices, passive voices, articles, prepositions, modifiers. All these basically fill in the blanks kind of questions. Followed by vocabulary, and vocabulary is also again of two types: so word based and contextual. That is, you can have questions like synonyms, antonyms, analogy, idioms, phrases, or maybe parajumble and reading comprehension. So this is what the verbal ability portion would look like. Next, if we talk about logical reasoning. Okay, so logical reasoning will have topics like coding, decoding, series, analogy, then sentence, decision, data sufficiency, data interpretation, data arrangement, blood relation, logical, clocks, calendars, inequality, all of these different types. Okay, coding, so very big advantage that we have with coding is you just have to solve two questions. Also, you have a choice of language. That is, you can choose one language out of C, C++, Java and Python to code whatever you want to do. Followed by, there will be some topics that you need to master on, like arrays, strings, decision making, looping, functioning. Different questions based on them can come up according to the question that they have put up for you. Right. So our task for today, you must have seen the question and must have figured out this is not a regular quants question. Our task for today is to do some questions from the logical reasoning portion. Okay, so quants you can practice a lot. Logics need to be developed. So we are going to do some questions from the Wipro paper, from previous year question papers that had come up in different sets, and I'm going to give you all those questions, some tricks also, so that we can solve those questions in minimum time involved. Okay, now this question, statement and conclusion, I have to figure out that out of the given statement, which of the conclusion that I have derived are true. Okay, so the statement is SRK is a famous film star. He earns a handsome amount every year through advertisements of products he endorses. Okay, so statement is talking about SRK. He is very famous. He is handsome and he earns a lot through product endorsements. Okay, first conclusion: all famous film stars earn handsome amount through advertisements. Now, this is the first conclusion I'm deriving. But when I look at the statement, I can figure out the statement is just talking about SRK. I don't know what is going to be the income of other film stars. So I cannot conclude first statement could be true. Okay, but if I look at the second statement, SRK being famous endorses only famous brands. Okay, now this is nowhere mentioned that he is going to endorse only famous brands. He will not work for any new brands. It's just given that he earns a lot through endorsement of products. So this also cannot be concluded. So what I have figured out is both the conclusions cannot be true, or both the conclusions are not my answer. They both are false conclusions. So my answer, when you look at the options, it's only one is true. No. Both one and two are true. No. Only two is true. No. My answer is actually neither conclusion were, non-conclusion two is true. My answer becomes option D. So a very simple question based on statement and conclusions. See, these type of questions, they come up very simply. Just have to look at the question, find out what the conclusion could be, and get the answer from it. Next one. Okay, so introducing a boy, Ralph said his mother is the only daughter of my mother-in-law. How is Ralph related to the boy? Okay, so we need to find the relation between Ralph and the boy. How the boy and Ralph are going to be related, that is what we have to do. Now, the question is very clear to us that he's talking about his mother is the only daughter of my mother in law. So, let's progress with this line only. Now, introducing a boy, it is being said. Now, his mother. So, the boy's mother is the only daughter of my mother in law. Okay, so my mother in law means my spouse's mother. So, if he is a man, Ralph is a man. So, Ralph's wife's mother. Okay, so Ralph's wife's mother. So, his mother, that is my mother-in-law, would be my spouse's mother. Now, whoever this person's mother is, she is the only daughter of my mother-in-law. So my mother-in-law's only daughter is Ralph's wife. So this means that the boy is wife's child. Now, since the boy is wife's child, that means Ralph is the father of this child. So how is Ralph related to the boy? Ralph is boy's father. Very simple question. Just you have to pay attention to the details and you would be good with every question that comes up. Next. Okay, so we are talking about some airlines, as I can make out from the first line. Airlines A, B, C, and D start flying towards east. Okay, so let's draw some airlines. A, B, C, and D start flying towards east after flying for 125 kilometers. So 125 kilometers gone. Now it's very important when you talk about questions from directions, you have to mention proper direction, and before starting, always somewhere in the corner mark these things: north, east, south, and west. Also, if you can mark northwest, southwest, southeast, and northeast, so that things become easier for us. You don't have to look every now and then here and there for what the directions are. Okay, so it's very important before starting you mention out all the directions. Now, this flying for 125 kilometers, and after that, A and D flew towards right. Okay, so A and D are going towards right. Right means they're going towards down. This is where A and D start traveling. Now, A and D, they have gone towards right. We don't know for how long they're flying. Let them fly. Let's just leave this unattended. And B and C flew towards left. Okay, going towards left means that they're going to go upwards. This is where B and C are going. Now, B and C flew towards their left while planes A and D also turned towards their left. Okay, so A and D turning towards left. Actually, the left is supposed to be the dotted line. If I was to look at my left, this is supposed to be the dotted line, but I'm obviously facing towards the south. So my left is going to be towards the right side, that is this particular direction towards the east. Okay, and B and C turn towards the left. So for them, left is the usual side. Okay, so this is C, this is B, this is A, and this is D. So now what I need is in which direction are the planes A, B, D, C respectively flying now. Now see, it is not A, B, C, D. It's A, B, D, and C. A, B, D, and C. So the direction of A is east, B is west, D is again west, and C is again east. So I have to look for east. So I have to look for A and D, they're in the same direction, that means they're east and east. B and C, they're in the same direction, that means they're west and west. So I have to look for east, west, east, west. Okay, east, west, it's option B. My answer becomes option B. Very simple question, just have to be careful. Now, next one. Babita runs 8 kilometers to the south. Then she turns to her left and walks 4 kilometers. Okay, so again, east, west, north, south, drawing for reference. Let this be the point from where Babita starts. 8 kilometers towards south, 8 kilometers towards down. Towards her right. Okay, now she's turning towards her right. Okay, now going towards the right from this position, it is supposed to be towards this side if it is the regular right, but since she's towards her right, that means she's towards my left. Goes in this direction for 4 kilometers. She walks and then she again turns to her right. Now from here, the right is going to be towards the north side. So now she again goes for 8 kilometers and she's moving 8 kilometers forward. How far is she from the starting point? So this is a starting point. This is a finishing point. 8 kilometers remains the same. The only distance between them is this 4 kilometer. That is, she's 4 kilometers apart from her starting point. Answer becomes option A. Next one. Okay, again a question based on statements and conclusion. But this time it is not given to me that which of the statements are true. No. Now what is given to me is what can I conclude out of the given statement that is given to me. This is also called as verbal reasoning. Why? Because we're going to focus on some premises, some facts that have been stated there. Okay, so the statement goes like the education secretary said that it was extremely necessary that the professional researchers, alone with practicing school teachers, conduct practical research. Okay, now it's very important to look at the conclusions very carefully. So, conclusion A is practicing teachers know the technique of researchers. So it's not necessary that the practicing teacher know the techniques of researchers, but what we want to know is it's extremely necessary that professional researchers alone with practicing teachers conduct. So they should be together. They should not just keep on doing things on their own. Okay, not my answer. Next, professional researchers are quite aware of the problems related to school education. Might be possible because school education is not an easy task. Some difficulties might happen. Right. Okay, let's look at the next one. B is a possible answer, but we need to look at two more options. Education secretary was speaking to the school students. Nowhere mentioned. Not my answer at all. But if I look at the last one, school education is quite a specialized field, and so long as teachers are not trained, the standard of education cannot be quantitatively better. Okay, now this seems like a legal reason for doing the research because school teachers they need to be trained. Like we see all these newses also with the school teachers they're not trained, and the school students they just anyhow pass the exams. We have so many news regarding that. So most probable answer that why they're doing the research along with practicing school teachers is so that they can improve the standard of education. Answer becomes option D. Next one. What is the 312th term of the series 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, and up to 5, 5, 5, 5, and this will go on. So I need the 312th term. So here 1 is the first term. Okay. Now next term is 2 and it is going to be until the third term. So I will write this line here as first term is 1. Okay. Next until third term it's 2. Now if I look at 3, 3 is there until the sixth term. Now fourth is there until the 10th term. And this is going to go on, this is going to continue. So one thing that I can figure out from here is if it is 1 it is up to first term, next term it's up to, that is 2 is up to third term, 3 is up to sixth term. One thing I can figure out from here is if it is the nth number that I'm talking about, it will be up to n into n plus 1 by 2th term. Like for example, if it is 1, 1 is up to 1 into 1 plus 1 by 2. That is it to just up to first term only. If it is 2, 2 is up to 2 into 2 plus 1, 3 by 2. Okay, that is up to the third term. If it is 3, that is 3 into 3 plus 2 is 5 divided by 3 plus, sorry, it is 3 plus 1, that is up to sixth term, and it is going to continue. So this is how the series is continuing. So my series I have figured out, it's n into n plus 1 by 2 it. I need to figure out something that is close to 312th term, because exactly I don't know whether I'll be able to get 312th. So I'll try to figure out a term that is somewhere close to 312th. Okay, now if I look at 210th term, one thing that I can make very easily, 210th term is going to be 20 into 21 by 2. If I can make 210, that is 20 into 21 by 2. Okay, so n into n plus 1, that is my 210th term is going to be 20. But no, 210 and 312 are still very, very far away from each other. So if I find out 300th term, 300th term is going to be 24 into 25 by 2, because I know 25 into 12 is 300. Okay, and 12 I can write as 24 by 2. Okay, so this comes out to be 300 only. Now if it is 24, it is 24 into 24 plus 1. That is my number, it's actually 24. So 24 is going to complete until 300th term. So from 301st term to 325th term, that is 24 will come up 24 times. Next number is going to be 25. Obviously 25 is going to come out 25 times. So up to 301st to 325th term, it is going to be 25. 312 falls in the same way. My answer is going to be option D, 25. Very easy, just has to figure out what the pattern is and things will become very clear out for all of us. Next one, find the odd man out. Now this is a very important reasoning question from number series, is finding the odd man out. Now let's try to figure out what the numbers are. So it's 396, 462, 572, 427, 671, 2, 6 and 4. Okay, one observation that comes out from here, this is not something like addition, subtraction or alternate series that I checked for. Okay, because all of them, even if I try to take the difference or even if I try to make two different series, it is not going to work. Okay, 396, I can write this 9 as 3 plus 6. Similarly, this 6 I can write as 4 plus 2. Here I can write this 7 as 5 plus 2. This will be 4 plus 7, that is 11. 11 is 1 plus 1, some more activities I have to do. Okay, this 7 becomes 6 plus 1. 264 becomes, this is 2 plus 4, that is 6. So one thing that I have figured out from here is every time this middle term is the sum of the two terms that are on the left and the right. But when I looked at 427, to get this 2 I have to do a lot of addition. When it was 11, again I had to do 1 plus 1. So my odd man out, according to the series that is followed, pattern that is followed is middle term is the sum of two different terms, two left and right terms. My answer comes out to be option B, that is 427. The odd man out is option B. Next one, find the next term of the particular series. So we have a series that is followed. I need to figure out what the particular pattern is. Let's look at the series. So it's 5, 10, 13, 26, 29, 58, 61, and then the question mark. Okay. So first I try to find 5 into 2. Okay, that is 10. Nice. Now 10 plus 3 gives me 13. Again, if I see it's 13 into 2 is giving me 26. 26 plus 3 is giving me 29. Now 29 into 2 is giving me 58. 58 plus 3 is giving me 61. So pattern I have figured out, pattern is one term is into 2, the next term is whatever the term you have obtained plus 3. Pattern is into 2 plus 3. Previous term into 2, when you got the term after multiplication, add 3 to it to get the next term. So after this, it's into 3 plus 3, the next will be into 2. That is 61 into 2, answer becomes 122. My answer is option A, 122. Very easy to figure out what the pattern is and to get the answer. Next question. Okay, so A, B, C, D, and E are sitting on a bench. All right, now this seems like a question from data arrangements. A is sitting next to B, Okay, let's first step is to always draw five spaces because as many variables are there, that many arrangements I need to do. Okay. Now there are always going to be some direct clues, there will always be some indirect clues. Let's look for some first direct clues. A is sitting next to B. Okay, C is sitting next to D. D is not sitting with E, who is on the left end of the bench. Now it's very important to understand here that D is not sitting with E, who is on the left of bench. Which person am I talking about? Is it D or is it E? So very important to understand here, it is not about D, it is about E, who is sitting on the left of the bench. So immediate left of the bench is E. Okay, now C is on the second position from the right. Right, this is the right position, second position from the right, that is here C is. A is to the right of B and E, and A and C are sitting together. So if this is C, either this position can be A or this position can be A. Okay, now A is to the right of B. If this position is A, then this is where B comes out. Also, it is written A is sitting next to B. So if I was to put out A at this position, A and B are not going to sit together. That means A is not going to come out here. A is going to come out in the middle position. This is B. Only position that is remaining is D, and D is not sitting with E. C is sitting next to D with these two clues, and the only place remaining position of D comes out to be the extreme right. Okay, arrangement that I have formed is E, B, A, C, and D. What is asked? What is the position of A? Where is A sitting? So A is sitting between B and C, that I can make out. Look at the option. All right, I have this option. My answer is option B, that he is sitting between B and C. Very simple to figure out. Just have to look. First thing is for some direct clues. That is from where I can directly get the position of some variables. That is going to be my answer.